Hello, welcome back to another Frankly Speaking. This is Frank, that's me, and today we're going to look at another article in the news about coronavirus, this time about hopefully a solution or part of a solution to the problem that we have today with this disease. So, let's get started here. So we're going to start first by looking at a summary, or I'll give you a summary about the article. I'll teach you some useful phrases when talking about diseases and illness. Then we'll look at some vocabulary from the article, and I'll give you time to read and to do a short writing. Okay, now some of you may have seen this chart before. This is when we talk about flattening the curve, we're talking about this. I'll explain this in case you don't know. This line is the number of cases or the number of people with the disease. On this side, we have the time that has passed since the first case. So we have two ways of handling this outbreak. We can let everyone get sick, let everyone get the disease, and let it peak at some point soon, and then dip back down until there are no more cases. Or we can try to slow the progress of the disease and make it last longer, but have less people infected with it at the same time. Now, this line here represents the capacity of the healthcare system. That's how many people hospitals and doctors can see at the same time. What happens if we let everyone get sick at the same time? Well, we can only take care of these people down here, and these people will not have access to hospitals, they won't have access maybe to medication, and the doctors won't be prepared to treat them. So if we do it quickly like this, then we run the risk of losing a lot of lives and people dying. Now, if we do it more slowly, if we slow the progress of the disease and the spread of the disease, then we have the capacity to treat all of these people. And the way we do this is by isolating, self-quarantining, or quarantining. Staying at home, now there's the phrase shelter in place, which means that people try to stay home and work from home and avoid going out as much as possible. So, I'm going to give you a summary of the article. So the name of the article is Japanese Flu Drug Clearly Effective in Treating Coronavirus, Says China, and this is from theguardian.com. A study in China has shown that a medication originally used to treat influenza has a significant effect on the virus responsible for COVID-19. Until now, most patients have carried the disease for about 11 days. With this medication, though, the disease lasts about 4 days. Additionally, the tests show that this medication is more effective in improving lung condition in patients. In order for the drug to be effective, it must be used early, before the virus has multiplied. It is hoped that the drug will be approved for use in treating coronavirus as soon as May, although there may be some delays. All right. Before we look at the useful phrases, let's look at these three words. These are three commonly confused words in English. So I'll try to clear up the difference between the three words. We'll start with injury and disease first, because illness is a little more complicated. So, an injury is it's caused by a movement or an impact, like if you're playing a sport and you fall, or you hit yourself against something, or you don't stretch at the gym. An injury is a broken bone, a strained muscle, any damage to your muscles or your bones, your body is an injury. And it can be, you can recover from it if you just rest, usually. Now, a disease is caused or can be caused by bacteria, a virus, or a parasite, for example. And a disease needs to be cured. You need to take medicine, or hopefully there is medicine to cure it. That's one type of disease, but another kind of disease can be heart disease, lung disease, liver disease. These are diseases that affect one organ in the body. Now, illness is, it's different. Illness is caused by disease. An illness is more of the effect that diseases have on your body and your mind. So an illness, if someone is suffering from an illness, then you know that this is a long-term condition usually. It's something that's affecting them in a lot of ways. Now, if you're talking about injuries, illness, or disease, you might use some of these expressions. And I'm going to go through this quite quickly so we can move on. Let's look first at some elementary level expressions to express if you have an injury, an illness, or a disease. We have I feel sick or I am ill. I've got a headache, earache, or cold. I need to take a pill every morning. I should visit the doctor, or I should go to the doctors. Those would be elementary level phrases or expressions, but intermediate speakers, you should be able to use some of these. My head hurts. My back is aching. I suffer from lower back pain. I'm allergic to shellfish. The doctor prescribed me some eye drops. My arm is swollen, or my arm is bruised, or my arm is broken. Now, advanced speakers, higher level speakers, or English learners, you might want to learn some of these other ones. For example, I see a physiotherapist twice a month to treat my knee injury. I'm somewhat congested, but I have no other symptoms. I'll be in treatment for my neck injury for the foreseeable future. The recovery time can be quite long, but the doctor says I'll be back on my feet in a week or two. Sadly, she's lived with this condition her whole life, but it's only recently that it has been progressing quickly and keeping her in the hospital. Now, in this, maybe congested might be a new word. Congested is when you can't breathe because your nose is clogged or stuffy. You have a stuffy nose, you are congested. The foreseeable future, this is as far as you can see in the future. And if a disease is progressing, it's actually a bad thing. If you have cancer and your cancer is progressing, then it's getting worse. Okay, we are going to look at some vocabulary now. This vocabulary is, I'd say, high, elementary, intermediate, and advanced. We're going to play a game for this. So you're going to need some paper. So you're going to see some words, you're going to see one word appear, and the word is going to be one of these colors, yellow, red, or purple. If it's yellow, it's an easier word. If it's red, it's medium. If it's purple, it's harder. It's a harder word. The word will be, it's going to be scrambled, so you won't know from reading it what the word is. You need to look at the word and listen to my definition and try to think of what the word is. So I'll show you the word, I'll read the definition. You should pause and Try to think of what the word is before continuing. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. First word. This is a natural or a cultured variety of a microorganism or a virus, for example. It's a kind of a virus. So usually a virus like the flu virus, it mutates, it changes, and it becomes a beep of the virus. Okay, this is a word that means the conclusion of something, the way that something turns out, or the consequence. This is a test, and we use this word when we talk about scientific type of tests or clinical type of tests. This is an adjective that means that it works well. It means that it is successful in producing a desired or an intended result. This is a mathematical term. We use it in math when we have a list of numbers. This is the number that's in the middle of all of those numbers. This is one of the effects that you feel when you're sick. For example, because you have a cold, then some of your beep are you have a cough, a stuffy nose, or a runny nose, a sore throat. This is a word, it's a verb, and it means to duplicate, to grow in size, or in number, I should say. For example, you have 2 of something, and then the next day you have 4, and the next day you have 8, then you would use this verb to describe it. This is a hard one. This is a type of medication that's used for certain diseases. For example, HIV is one. It's a kind of medication. This is a verb and a noun. I'll give you the definition of the noun. It's a resource or a stock of a resource that can be provided. So if you need something and someone can give you that thing, then you're going to get a beep of that thing. This is a quite easy word. It means help or assistance. And when we use it to talk about, let's say, a situation in the world, then it's help that is given to a country. This is a sudden or a violent start of something like war, disease. It means that it happens unexpectedly. This is a word that we use as a verb and a noun. And as a noun, it's the investigation, especially in science and scientific work, the investigation into and the study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. And this is a word that is it's a noun, and it means the action of saying that you agree to something. You say okay to something. especially if you're someone in power, like the president of a country. Okay. All right. So the first word that was a kind of virus, a mutation, for example, of a virus is a strain. The next one was the way something turns out, the outcome. The next one was a type of test. That's a trial. This means that it's successful in producing a result that's effective. The next one, the middle in a list of numbers is the median. This is how the effects of being sick, like a cough or a runny nose, symptom. To duplicate, to grow in number, to multiply. A type of medication that's used especially for HIV is an antiretroviral, because the HIV virus is a retrovirus. The next one was a stock of a resource. If you need something and someone has it and they provide you with it, then they supply you with it, or they give you a supply of it. The next one was a word that means help, aid. To suddenly, the sudden or violent start of something is an outbreak. The type of study or investigation that scientists do is research. And the action of saying okay to something, especially if someone is in power, they give their approval. Okay. I will give you all the definitions here, so you can pause the video, write them down, or read them. Okay. Now, you can read the article. The link is in the description. And when you finish reading it, I suggest you try this. Why don't you write a short summary of the article yourself? And and answer this question: why do you think it takes a long time for governments to approve the use of new medications? All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out the channel. I hope you learned something today, and I hope to see you again soon. Make sure you subscribe. And also, if you wrote an answer if you wrote a summary of this, then please leave it in the comments for others to see and for me to check out. All right. Catch you later.